Hello, we are the Young team and we would like to present to you our project. This project is a tribute to one of the greatest astronauts of the world, a space pioneer, and placed his name where it belongs, a place amongst the stars. John Young marked the space era from its very beginning and up to the present, being active in all of the greatest NASA programs. He was a pilot for Project Gemini, then reached the moon with the Apollo mission and was the first one to ever fly the space shuttle. We consider that space colonization is an unavoidable step for humanity and future space exploration. Because of this, we designed our own space habitat, in which we hope that future generations will be able to spend their lives. This was an amazing experience that we would like to share with you. One of the most important aspects of our space settlement is location. The main idea of our project is to reduce the overall costs. In order to achieve this goal, we chose the Earth-Moon system because it is the closest to Earth, and thus the costs will be very low and the time delays for communication negligible. Firstly, we studied the different orbits around the Earth. We also took into consideration the Van Allen radiation belts. The geostationary orbit is too far away from Earth and is located within the outer Van Allen radiation belt, which will result in higher costs due to the required radiation protection systems. The medium orbit, on the other hand, is located between the two belts and is much closer to Earth, making it a possible solution for Young's location. The low Earth orbit is the closest to Earth and the safest in terms of radiation because it is under the inner belt, making it the cheapest location for our space settlement. However, being so close to Earth, stability is an issue because of the atmospheric drag, especially for larger objects. For comparison, we also studied the Lagrangian points L1, L2, L3, L4 and L5. We concluded that all of the points except for L3 are much closer to the moon, making it easier to take advantage of the moon's resources compared to other orbits around the Earth. The best location for our space settlement would be one of the symmetrical Lagrangian points L4 and L5 due to their high stability and possibility to take advantage of the solar system's resources. The main idea of our design is to make it as easy and cheap to build as possible while maintaining the required functionalities of a proper space settlement. We adopted the cylinder design due to the following. It is easy to create artificial gravity, it can be expanded over time in order to provide more space for more inhabitants, and it is very safe and stable in terms of structure stress. This is an overview of our design. There are 3 docking and depositing rings, and the space between them is going to be occupied by industry that is going to process the incoming materials. The mobile end is going to separate the inhabitable area from the industrial zone, and it is where the inhabitable area is going to be expanded. The stable end is going to limit the inhabitable environment in the opposite direction. The first step will be the construction of a ring like the one pictured here. This is the docking system of Young. The final version of the space settlement will have 3 such rings. After that, the mobile end should be built, and then the stable end should be built in the opposite direction. After that, the inhabitable environment should be constructed. The sounds are only for artistic impression, since mechanical waves don't propagate in void. For the interior design, we came to the idea of container homes. They are very useful for our space settlement because they are cost-effective, durable, versatile, and lightweight. All of these advantages come because of the high habitable volume to materials needed ratio. This design can be replicated in many ways, making it useful for all types of buildings. The initial population of Young will consist of 200 people. The law on Young will resemble that on Earth, and medical treatment will be performed using advanced technology. Of course, education will be free, and we will also provide a lot of entertainment solutions in order to reduce homesickness. The good location of our space settlement brings the opportunity to expand the space tourism industry. As of today, going to the moon is very dangerous, fact proven by the Apollo 13 mission. And we think that this discourages a lot of potential customers. However, we think that we could increase the safety of space tourism due to the fact that a rescue mission could be sent much more rapidly from Yang to the damaged tourist ship. Also, a larger and more comfortable ship could carry the tourists from Yang to the moon because it wouldn't have to re-enter the atmosphere. We also have to mention the good location for mining operations in deep space. In collaboration with other private companies, Yang could become the main processing plant of all space materials. This could help the extension effort of our space settlement with raw materials from space and funds for acquisition of new construction materials from Earth. Also, Yang could join the efforts of space debris capturing, and the debris could be used for the construction of our space settlement. As we mentioned before, our goal is to have minimal costs for the construction of the habitat, and this is why we conducted an experiment in order to determine the optimal conditions for growing plants in space. The problem that we encountered was the right choice of type of visible radiation and soil. Firstly, we exposed similar plants to different wavelengths, and we measured their height daily. As indicated in the graphs, red light is the most efficient for growing plants in an economical manner. Secondly, we compared the plant's growth rate for different types of soil, such as hydroponics, potting soil, hydrophilic cotton wool, and agar-agar. We came to the conclusion that hydroponics is the best choice, fact proven by the image below. In all of these experiments, we used a Raspberry Pi module in order to measure important indicators such as humidity and temperature inside the habitat. The cost of transportation represents the majority of the overall costs. It is difficult to predict the cost considering that more and more technologies are being developed. The costs of transportation into space are decreasing, but this is a very slow and unpredictable process. We estimate that we need to transport into space a total mass of 5 million metric tons. As of today's technology, this mass is equivalent to the sum shown here. This project took a lot of effort and work to put into it, and these are some of the materials that we used to do our project. Before we conclude, we must thank NASA and NSS for giving us the opportunity to get involved in this amazing project. Furthermore, we would also like to show our gratitude to our teacher, Mrs. Ioana Stoica, for sharing her pearls of wisdom with us during the course of this project. Last but not least, we'd like to thank our parents, school, and our amazing sponsors, Banasa Development, for all of their help and support. We hope that this was a wonderful of an experience as it was for us, and, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you aboard.